Komisi Taban Kenti weki samla ke basmat menyelak kai leng bagi online games. Kat kom getting start dengan juk sains ke pemerintah nak kalian ke skill online game institute ke bagi seng ke bela bu thong man penbiang ye ke jing tu kelum lang ye data syaki kat khana ye kai online. Menta ke sengi ke khat atrik ujeli nak kalian ke Sogi lengba u presiden yang kaseng u ambet kiran sing ola pentip berwer ke samla basmat menyelak kai online. Apa ni so berke kenhuan bolong kom kalat ai kam hiki kan ke seng ke petu ye ke jik ye ke samla. Kham tam ha ke jing le online ke bahab subisa bat Iada. Thok what shall I do?
That's a tough target. That's a stiff target. And the government will need several growth engines to reach that target, if it is to reach that target. Now, one of the growth engines in the digital space is the online gaming industry. And therefore, we believe that in the Skill Online Games Institute, that if the government just gives a little bit of encouragement, this industry can grow even faster and help India attain its target of 1 trillion digital economy, right? So just to give you a context, today the industry in India is only 1% of the market share of the world market. China has 25% and America has 23% of the world market. But this is an industry in which India has natural ability, right? Because we are the champions in the world on IT, and therefore we have a lot of IT skills and talent. And therefore, if the government does nothing, we can gain 5% or 10% market share in the next 2 to 5 years. And just to give you a context, in the size of the industry in India is 3.5 billion US dollars, and it has created over 2 lakh jobs. So if we can move from 1%, and this is just 1%, if we move from 1% and grow it to 5%, you can imagine how many jobs in India it can create, and therefore, and how much it can contribute to the GDP. And we therefore think it is extremely important that this industry is given the right kind of importance, and we have been talking to the government. This industry in India is only 5 years old, but already companies like Gamescraft, Dream11, etc. have got huge valuations, and they're doing very well. In the Prime Minister's startup ecosystem, there are 400 profitable online gaming companies. Right. So, like I said, we've come to 3.5 billion, created about 2 lakh jobs, and 75%. And we believe that unless we score self goals, we get market share of the world because we have talent in IT. And the self goals in this industry will be over regulation and over taxation, or both. So if we over regulate or we overtax, we will be scoring a self goal. The industry is at the same point, at the same inflection point that the IT industry was in the 90s, right? IT industry in the 90s, where the IT industry which has transformed India, which has transformed India's image abroad as a professional, intelligent nation with high IQ. In the 90s was at a similar inflection point. And the way the government regulated this industry, handled this industry, taxed this industry, ensured that we have milked IT for the last 3 decades from the 90s, right? And we continue to milk IT. Now, what we do with the online gaming industry going forward in terms of regulation, taxation, will determine whether we can milk the online gaming industry for the good of India in the same way or not, right? Now, so it's 5 years old. This industry had no recognition from the government. So in 2022, we went to the government and told them all this. And the government of India appointed a task force of nine ministries to determine who will be the nodal ministry for this industry. And at the end of 2022, the government decided that the Ministry of IT and Electronics, MeitY, will be the nodal ministry for this industry. So that was the first thing, that the MeitY, the Ministry of IT and Electronics, then came out with some draft regulations to regulate this industry. And in March of 2023, they actually notified the regulations for this industry. And the regulations are very good, are very encouraging. They have a self-regulating body that will, it has a provision for a self-regulating body that will regulate this industry. Everything has been going fine, but suddenly October 1st, 2023, the government decided to increase the GST on this industry. Just to give you an example, if the four of us are playing, 1, 2, 3, 4, and each of us, and we decide to play rummy or bridge or whatever online, and we all put 100 rupees each, right? The platform takes 10 rupees from that 100 rupees for its service fee for providing your platform. You don't play against the platform. We will play against each other. But because the platform is provided to play this game, the platform owner takes 10 rupees from the 100. Online games in a week, he will get addicted. We can actually lock the person out through technology, because in online games, when you put any money, you have to do KYC. KYC we have agreed already in the regulations that KYC will be at the level of the RBI guidelines, the highest level, right? So your Aadhaar card is there, all those details are there, PAN card details are there. So if a person if the government and the experts and the industry decides that if somebody has played 10 or 14 or 15 hours, or whatever that number is, we can actually lock out the player that he cannot play after he's reached that, right? So to check in other industries, you can do nothing. In fact, take alcohol industry. Alcohol industry is also bad for people. But what can you do? You cannot do anything. Only you can put a slogan, drinking is injurious to health. In some state they'll say excessive drinking is injurious to health. But you can't do anything. People who eat burgers, etc., where there is processed foods, trans fats kill you. But you can't do anything about it. But here, you can actually do something about addiction by actually using technology tools to lock people out at whatever the hours the government decides. So there is no reason to look at it from a moral standpoint and raise taxes to discourage people from playing. You can do it through technology. Now the problem when you raise taxes like you have raised just now is, if I don't know how many of you watch IPL. Do you watch IPL? Is it popular here? Yes. So if you watch IPL, you will see so many ads coming on television. And they are from all kinds of websites. The tail was wagging the dog. What is the tail? The addiction. The dog is the big potential of this industry. The tail has been wagging the dog. The fact is that if the government talked to us before hitting us with this high taxation to curb addiction, which they think from a moral standpoint, we could have done it through technology. So we could still, so the basic message that Sogi has for the government and for all of us is that this is too large an industry. You need to, the government, industry and experts like mental health experts, etc., need to come together. We need to talk together and come and formulate policy that maximizes the benefits of this. Tax rate was increased. And I'm saying it has to increase. You increased it by 1000%. But is that limited ambition? Because what are you doing? By this huge tax increase, you are making the Indian market on a platter, giving it to the foreign companies. Because they're saying, come and play with us, and there's no border, you can't control them, you can't ban them. So they are not playing on Indian companies' platforms, they're going and playing on Chinese, Macau platforms. And so you're killing your own industry by this policy, and therefore you need to be careful. So when we're doing the review, I'm saying to the government, let's not do a review knee-jerk just because it has increased short. That's a very limited ambition. This is the goose that lays the golden egg. This would be a very limited. What the government should do is actually get ICRIER, or one of the respected think tanks, to do the full research on this industry. They can cooperate. We can cooperate with the government agency that does the research. Do a full review. Get all the facts. Educate the people from the state finance ministers who come for the GST Council meeting, and then take a call on what the taxation for this industry should be going forward.
So at present, have you approached the state government?
The chairman of the online gaming group of ministers for making recommendations. He has been very sympathetic. I have met with him several times, and they've also looked at how to increase the infrastructure here to attract companies to come here. So yeah, we've been talking to people and we're giving them, but the fact was that there wasn't information when we started. When the GST Council did its work, there wasn't enough information. You know, this was like in 2022. And now there's a lot of information on the size, on how the negative addiction, etc., can be curbed. Also a framework for what is gambling and what is skill games. For example, if you look at the whole type of games that there are in online gaming, you have chess, bridge, rummy, poker at one side, and you have roulette, which is a casino game, on the other. Now, obviously, chess is a skill game. You have to have skill in all these, your bridge and rummy, etc. The casino games require no skill.